Hey everyone, this is Jaden Hydara, aka SpyFan 101. I'm here today for my weekly routine of my girl Kamala's show. Now, honestly, I'm kind of tired. Today is the day that a couple things happened. For one thing, Lightyear was a huge disappointment. Maybe I'll get to that later. I'm not promising anything. Top Gun Maverick was a masterpiece. It's my new favorite movie. Multiverse of Doctor Strange 2 comes out today on digital. I already have it. I'm probably gonna watch it like 3 or 4 times today. That's also one of my favorite movies, as some of you have seen from my video talking about the movie. But in terms of this show, you guys already know how I feel about it thus far. I think the characters, like how they do the characters in the show, how they write the characters, is great. But everything that's dealing with her powers so far is not so great. Not at all. As a matter of fact, quite torturous. And it kind of aggravates me seeing this version of Kamala being featured in so many places because even though character wise she's very accurate and very good, and Iman is definitive casting, I don't know. It just feels wrong with her being so, you know. I don't want to say modified because that would imply that there will be a good thing about it. But no, just they changed her for no reason, and you know. And again, I don't buy the whole no Inhumans excuse because Agents of Shield spent like what 2 whole seasons doing the Inhuman storyline with the Terrigen crystals and the Terrigen mist. The Inhuman show exists. You had Black Bolt, the king of all Inhumans, in Doctor Strange 2. Which is not like that was a movie that came out like 5 years ago. Like, it came out this year. So that whole Inhumans excuse it means nothing to me. But yeah, I have nothing. Obviously, I mean, everything character wise, like I just said, is good in this show. But I guess the only real issue that I have is that even though Bruno is there, like he is a character, I don't feel like they're giving him enough. You know, they have this whole plot of him going to another college and him trying to tell Kamala, but you know, he's jealous of her and Kamran's new camaraderie, and you know, that's fine. You know, that's fine. He was jealous in the comic. Well, he wasn't jealous, more so suspicious of Kamran in the comics. But you know, I get what they're going for here. But I don't know. That's how you could tell I just woke up. My voice is cracking. But I don't know if they will have enough time to handle this well. Because with 6 episodes, I just don't know. So we'll have to see. But this episode is titled Destined. And that kind of confuses me because it's named after this comic right here. Now, this comic is the beginning of the Storm Ranger arc, which is kind of confused because this takes place after the entire like main series for Kamala's story. So I don't know why this episode is named after this one. It's kind of weird. But I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what happens. So, without further ado, let's just get into it. Again, Marvel Rising shirt, just in case anyone asked. This is my uniform every Wednesday.
Teenage girl at Avenger Con. So it looks like your power is coming from within you, like the bang will unlock the superhuman part of you.
Yes, and see, I had this speculation before in the previous video too. Like, they gave us hope by saying that her powers, or that the energy comes from within her, not from the bangle. Which is a good thing, because this is something that also happened to another fellow Inhuman, Daisy Johnson, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. In season 2, it was built up that she had this thing about her that wasn't human, that was more. And, the whole time, the power was already within her. She just needed the Terrigen Crystal and the Terrigen Mist to activate it. I feel like it's going to be the same thing with Kamala, which is fine. But I just wish they would have done it in this show instead of a movie. It's coming out like 2 years from now. That's not even about her. That's about Captain Marvel. And I'm going to see it because it's Captain Marvel 2. And the first Captain Marvel, as you already know if you've been with my channel since the Golden Arc, aka 2019, you would know that Captain Marvel holds a special place in my heart, even though upon rewatch, like recent rewatch, because I've watched the film like a billion times, maybe I need to watch it again, but it's not as great as I remember it. And I don't think that's the movie's fault, but who knows? Maybe I need to watch it again, is all. But it still holds a special place in my heart, and I still love it very much. So I will be seeing the Marvels because it is a sequel to Captain Marvel. But the story is not going to be about her. It's going to be about Carol. So, we'll see how they do it. But yeah, back to the show.
What happened to Sana's mother?
She disappeared that night.
Do you know what happened to our great grandma? Aisha?
And I don't know if that Sana reference was a reference to Sana
I'm not 12.
Amanet. Sorry if I butchered her name. Who was a co-creator of the character in the comics.
There's another superhero catastrophe.
But if it is, cool.
They're bragging about the budget, Captain.
Oh, we're seeing it? No, I guess not. Thought we were seeing the raid on Karachi.
Korea, Celine, I found the bangle.
Is that a Kree arm? That arm was blue.
Should we be concerned it's on a step at all?
You heard what that man from the temple said.
He said we would need two. Let me see it.
That looks like a Kree arm. Not unless that guy is like super dead. Or that person is super dead.
So where's the other one?
I told you. The British have probably used this place twice over by now. Then one will have to do.
And is that the 10 rings?
Check on the other. Najma, it's the British Army. We don't have time.
Aisha,
We don't know what just went back. I promise.
By the way, I have no idea what's going on right now. None of this is from the comics.
We've been running together ever since. As for your great-grandmother, I was from another dimension. And
What?
so are we.
No, of course, yeah.
We're not here by choice. We were exiled.
What are you talking about?
Close to finding our way home. We were separated.
We searched for her. But with all that happened during partition, he assumed she got lost.
Another
Like so
dimension?
many others.
I'm just fixated on the other dimension part. Like, what?
It's getting a bit noisier.
I never got a chance to thank you for saving me, by the way.
Within us as well. It slows down our aging for one thing. But we can't access its full potential in this dimension. But maybe because you're from here, you can.
What about Kamran? Wasn't he born here too?
That bangle helps you unlock the Noor. Maybe one day something will do the same for him.
I don't know, it seems like a lot of bad things happen because of this bangle. Like, I dropped a kid off a building and then I got chased by drones, and so it's like, it's just, I really don't think any good can come of this.
It was Aisha's wish to bring us all home. And now you must
By all
finish
means,
what she started.
give it to her. Who
So where
cares?
exactly is your home?
You're trending.
I'm like, you should go to Doctor Strange, please. I would give anything to have my man Strange show up and fix you. Come on, please. He did the same for my boy Peter. He did the same for America. He could do the same with you.
We received a report of an or because she was spotted at a mosque, man.
Please, return when you have a signed warrant.
I think Nakia is gonna end up being my
Excuse me,
favorite
Mr.
character
Agent.
in this show.
Next time, remove your shoes.
Like her interpretation of Nakia is so, like, it's actually perfect.
Came by earlier. He said he couldn't get out of his shift, but he has left this box for you.
Was that the domino mask?
So how does she convince everyone that she's good?
Good. It's not a thing you are, Kamala. It is a thing you do.
There you go. Yeah, it's definitely the domino mask. Yep, there it is.
Supernatural beings of pre-Islamic folklore, the jinn, have had many names across time and cultures. Some call them genies, others demons. Legend tells of a group of hidden jinn, exiled from their home world and damned to live out their days trapped in our own.
See ya, Bruno. Have a good night, Mr.
Wait,
Clark.
you forgot to pay for that.
So I plugged in the energy
Jeez.
signatures from our tests on you and I ran a simulation.
You're like, where's her brother
Oh,
though?
you see my phone?
It's like Bruno's brother's
You
not
went with
around.
Tammy.
I was gonna tell you, she just didn't
Tayshia's
see my
brother's not around.
We don't have more time.
phone. Apparently it might be dangerous if we don't do it right.
Of course it's dangerous. Why wouldn't it be?
Is that her brother? If so, he's really young. She's so young. Hey! I knew she'd make a cameo at some point. Bruno should have known he should have gotten involved with that. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that's how he injures his arm. Are you kidding?
Hello, Kamala. Can I call you later? You need to come to Karachi. What? They wouldn't even let me go. Oh, you both need to come. Okay, Nanny, please come here. Can I call you tomorrow? Did you see it? See what? Did you see the dream, beta? How did you know about that? Because I saw it too, which is why you have to come. You have to come to Karachi. What, Nanny? Nanny?
I don't even know what to say about this. Like, this reaction is probably gonna be very short because now it's starting to get to the point where it's just like, this is no longer a Kamal Khan show. It's not. Not to mention that it's made unbelievably worse by the fact that you have, like, they're rushing through all these. Like, her having genies, apparently, or whatever they're doing here is just bad. Like, that is horrible. At this point, I don't care what the excuses are. I'm trying to fit in more with the culture. I don't care. That's there are a lot better ways to do that while keeping the character the way she is. I don't care what the excuse is in terms of changing her powers. Like, I really don't care. I tried to be so nice to this show because towards the time it was starting to come out, my love, it's kind of like what I felt for Ben 10, right? Like, when the reboot came out, it was absolute garbage, but I kept trying to give it a chance. I kept trying to give it a chance over and over, but every time I come back to it, it would still be garbage. Despite a couple of movies that they put out, it would still be garbage. Even though this show is not entirely garbage, these changes are garbage. And I'm sorry, but I'm not being nice anymore. Like, again, the wedding between Amir and Taisha was great. It was a fun scene. You know, Bruno and Kamala talking about how Bruno is going to be moving or going to a Caltech, even though this whole subplot is very rushed and they had no time to develop it at all. I feel like that scene was fine. But this whole thing of, like, rushing through this story is starting to piss me off now. Because, literally, and now she's going to Karachi because she has some vision of a train, And now we know that when she goes to Karachi, that's when she's gonna bump into Kareem, and they're gonna have their whole thing, and it's only gonna last one episode. I'm so sick of this, man. Like, why are they rushing through this? This is such a... Like, first they changed the whole thing up, then they rush through every single storyline. What the storylines that they are skipping out on here are like built up through several comic storylines. Several. And the fact that, like, literally, she's going to Karachi because of plot in this show, when in the comics, she goes to Karachi because she is burnt out by everything that has happened in her life. Civil War, it was just off the heels of Civil War 2. Bruno got injured because he tried to free Josh from an a prison-like place, and because of that, his detonator thing to try to open, like, the door thing they tried to open exploded, and he got permanently injured in his arm. I think it was his leg too. Yeah, it was his legs as well. And because of that, he had the whole thing of, like, he was, like, in danger of never walking again. He would permanently lose, like, thing in his arm. And Kamala felt bad about this. That's why she went against Carol. She stopped doing those things. Not to mention everything that happened beforehand with the inventor and all the villains that she faced before. And then, after she, went against Carol and went against that other girl who ended up being, like, an ongoing villain in the Rogues Gallery, she went back to Bruno. She was like, and he was like, no, I'm done with you. I'm going to Wakanda and I'm going to college there. I'm getting away from you. And she went to Karachi because she wanted to get her mind off of things. She went to visit family. She went to be in a better position so that she could get her mind right. So that she could get over everything that was going on in her life. All the hard things that's going on in her life. But in this show, she's going literally because of plot. Like, I'm sick of this, man. This show, like, the first episode was genuinely amazing. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It really is an amazing episode. The second one, even though it's not as good as the first, and those powers are abysmal, the scenes with Nakia and with Sheikh Abdullah were fine. They were cool. Oh, and the scenes where they were in high school and the reenactment of the party scene, it was cool. But this episode, I'm sorry, it was bad. I'm sorry, it was bad. And I say this every week. I've been saying this for the past 2.5 weeks at this point. But these changes are abysmal. These changes are absolutely abysmal, and the fact that this is 6 episodes is making this even worse. Like, if this was, like, say, Marvel Netflix style of episodes and it was 13, maybe it could have been better. But honestly, I'm just like, these changes are abysmal. And they're starting to show their ugly heads. And maybe this is just this episode that is bad. Maybe the other ones will be better. But for me, I'm just like, I am so sick of this. Because the other 2 episodes wanted to be faithful, but also wanted to be different at the same time. And looking back on it, it's like, it makes the show come off as confused. Like, it doesn't really know what it wants to be. And now, like, I admire it being authentic, like recreating scenes and stuff. But if you want to be truly authentic, don't change the character like this. That's how you be authentic. Don't change the character like this. Well, this episode had no, like, the only reference to the comics was that one line that Sheik Abdullah said. Besides that, that was it. Like, my patience is starting to run thin with this show. Because even though I've had like time, like weeks to marinate with this show and what it's done so far, it's like at least with the second episode, it gave us hope because of this, because of Bruto saying that the power comes from within you. But now this episode completely botched that. Completely, almost contradicted itself. Because in the second episode, they said that the power doesn't come from the bangle. But in this episode, they're saying the power comes from the bangle. Like, it makes no sense at all. Which one is it? Does it come from her or does it come from the bangle? Choose! And more, like, you should choose the power comes from her because that gives us more of an opportunity to get her real powers back. And then it's still episode 3. I guess we're gonna have like Cameron's mother as the villain in this now, which makes no, like, I would have taken anybody. The inventor, the crazy lady from the Civil War II days. Hey, even Josh as Discord. Or hey, I would have taken that Dox virus over this. Because at least with the Dox virus, there was tension in the comics when it came to that. But no, like, this is ridiculous. And the powers were still terrible. They were still not good. It's like my patience is running very thin with this show. So yeah, overall, this episode, because there were some good scenes, like Abu talking to Amir before his wedding, the actual wedding between Amir and Taisha, and also I mentioned this in the I mentioned this during the reaction. Where is Taisha's brother? Where is Bruno's brother? Where are these characters? Like, there's so many characters missing. Where's Josh? Where are they? And because this, like, my hope is dwindling more and more that this is gonna be more than one season. And honestly, man, if this does not change, if these powers do not change back to where they're supposed to be, I honestly don't want to watch this anymore. I don't. Like, this is irritating me on a level that is insane. I don't even think I was this irritated with MCU Spider-Man pre No Way Home, because at least then he was still Spider-Man. Yeah, I mean, he was under Tony Stark all the time, which was annoying, but by Far From Home, he was at the point where he was at least making his own suits, where he was making his own decisions, where he was being a version of Spider-Man pre No Way Home. But here, it's ridiculous. And at this point, like, nah, man. Xochitl Gomez as America goes back on top. Because I can't wait. This makes me anticipate watching Multiverse of Madness again so much. Because with Xochitl Gomez America, yes, she's at an early stage. That her version of America is at an early stage in her life, but she was so accurate. She was like spot on, and it was incredible. Just like that movie is incredible. But with this, I'm like, no. The Marvel Rising version of America goes back on top. The Avengers video game version of her also like goes up with the Marvel Rising version. I don't know what I was thinking saying that this version of Kamala was definitive. She's not. Yes, she might have the same characteristics. Yes, she might have the same thing. Yeah, Iman Vellani with better material could have been phenomenal as this character. She could have been absolutely phenomenal as this character. But for me, this episode pissed me off to a level that is immense. And if this is how the rest of this series is going to go, with Kamala facing these other dimension, I don't know. If this is how it's going to go for the rest of this, then I don't know if I want to watch this show anymore. Or at least I don't want to know. At least I don't know if I want to get up at 5 every morning and react to this. Because if this is how the rest of this is going to go, this is how these next 3 episodes are going to go, then you already know how I feel about it. It's not good. You have, well, besides these, because these are Marvel Rising comics, they don't really count. But you have this entire, look at this. Look at all these stories. Do you see this? Look at all of these stories. And they are skipping through them all in the span of 6 episodes and changing them up like they don't matter. Excuse me, but they do matter. They do. And I'm sick and tired of Marvel Studios doing this. The first episode was good. The first episode was great, should I say. The second episode was alright. I admired that those 2 episodes tried to stay so true to the comics. But now, it's getting to a point now where if this is where it's going to go, I might not continue. So yeah, I'm sorry. You don't know. Forget it. I'm not sorry. I'm a fan of this character, and I have been for a long time. And I want to see this character done justice. And this show, I mean, they fudged up like right out of the gate for changing her abilities, but now at least, like, even though they changed her abilities, at least in those first 2 episodes, they at least hinted to the fact that they could go back to that she could go back to her original abilities, and at least everything around it was so accurate to the comics. It was like, okay. But this episode was literally like nothing. Gave a little bit more of a hint because I'm pretty sure like that hand that the bangle was on was a Kree hand. It was blue. So maybe that's still a hint that something could happen. But at this point, unless I see it happen with my own 2 eyes, unless I see her going through Terrigenesis, unless I see her with the embiggening fists, stretching, embiggening, shrinking, shape shifting. Unless I see her with the actual, being with the actual big. When I see that with my own two eyes, then I'll be more accepting. Maybe. But as of right now, no. This episode gets a 5. And with the power deduction, or no, this episode gets a 50, I meant to say. And with the power deduction, I'm going to give it a 20. A 20 out of 100. This episode pissed me the heck off. And, if the next episode, I'm going to react to the next episode, but if the next episode is not even somewhat better, I'm not doing these reactions anymore. I'm not. This was a profound low point in this show. And I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed. As a fan of this character, I am very disappointed. So yeah, I'm Jane Nidar, aka Spy Fan 101, saying peace.